today in particular, we're just seeing, shelters over capacity. And, one large reason for that is folks having to surrender their pets. And one of the top reasons that has been cited for surrenders is housing related issues. And obviously that impacts people in a variety of different ways. And, one particular population that we see affected very deeply is in the folks that are experiencing housing instability and are unhoused and living on the streets. Oftentimes they may have been living there for a long time. They may have experienced some trauma in their lives that have caused them to end up on the streets. In fact, among women, domestic violence is the number one cause of homelessness among folks. So, there's a variety of different reasons, but, the reality is that for all of these folks, the love and the companionship that they get from their pet is no different than someone that is better resourced. And so, we're really focused on making sure that, when they experience, an emergency situation, when they're living on the streets, that they don't have to turn away housing because that shelter cannot accept their pet. And so that's really the idea behind the PUPP Act, is really just making sure that shelters that are willing to accommodate pets have the resources to create those. And, the reality is in, most cases, when homeless shelters were built originally, we hadn't really caught up with the idea of how important pets are to people. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of those shelters were not constructed with pets in mind and really were not designed to accommodate pets.
I think some of these folks that are experiencing hardships, their pet's even more important to them because in a lot of cases we see their pet's the only thing in their life, and so it's so important to keep. Obviously, like I said earlier, we want to keep everybody together. We want all families to stay together. But in this case, I really root for these folks that are temporarily homeless to be able to keep their pets. Like you said, sometimes these pets aren't terribly well socialized. So having them turned into a shelter is difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to find them a new home instead. And pets don't care about a fancy house and your fancy car. They just want to be with you. So your home is where your pet is. You are your pet's home. So I think I really hope that this legislation goes